Oh, man, I meant to bring one of those bears in. Dang it.
Bears.
When I got them in my car.
The eyeball thing just came up.
Are we going live?
Yeah,
Dang
that's
it.
all right.
Okay, that's okay.
No, I'm gonna put the graphic up. Nobody's watching yet, so I'm just gonna say we're Porchcast Pottstown. Matt Green and Amy Wolf, right? And we're live on Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate. We're live on Porchcast Pottstown. Decided to go live to my personal page, which is Rufus Jefferson. So we're streaming live to 3 platforms. Just waiting for some people to join us today. I wish we could play lead-in music, but we can't because it keeps getting blocked. Freaking copyright rules. Thanks for tuning in. I see some people starting to check into the show. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to hit that like and share button. Also, remember to put a comment into the chat box. Let us know that you are watching. The more likes, the more shares, the more comments we get, the more we can spread the word about everything that is going down in your community. This is your community. We're here for you to help spread the word about all the great stuff that's happening in Pottstown and the surrounding areas. Because
it's a beautiful spring day out there, Matt.
It is.
It's like perfecto. It was a little chilly last night. Frost warning.
Yeah. We have some people starting to come into the show. So remember to hit that like or share button if you can. Also, remember, put a comment up into the screen, into the chat box. Let us know that you are watching. Today's show, we're going to be a little bit free form. So if there is somebody who's watching that has something they want to say, put it up in the comments.
Drop it in the chat.
Today's a very good day for influencing the conversation. Yes. Because we're going to kind of free form it a little bit today.
All right. Sound good to me.
All right, we have some people. If the people that are watching all hit the like button, made a comment, and shared it to their news stream, our viewership would jump up
immediately.
Skyrocket even. We're that. All right, there's Amy. Everybody waits with bated breath.
Oh, yes.
For Amy to appear on screen.
Oh, well, let me put this window up a little bit. Let me let all the bugs in.
You know, I think from last night being cold, the bugs probably got knocked down a little bit.
Maybe. There's some little guys floating around.
I've been out fishing several times, and for whatever reason, this year there's been a tremendous amount of mayflies hatching, which certainly helps my fishing.
What's a mayfly?
You've probably seen them before. They're kind of longish shape, and they kind of have triangle-shaped wings. Mm-hmm. They come in different colors. The ones that the trout really seem to like are the sulfurs, which are the yellow mayflies. But there was white ones hatching the other day. There was brown ones hatching the other day. And the trout just love them.
Does that help you? If there's more of them, does that help you to catch more trout?
Yeah, because then if the trout get active and they start
trout are
feeding.
Like, woo, mayflies. And then you can trick them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
What recipe did I say I wanted to make with some trout?
Yeah.
What was it?
Crispy.
Oh, yeah, with the skin.
I have enough to do that.
Ooh, all right, cool.
So one night we'll have a dinner.
Dig it.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Who's here? Drop a line. Let's see. Who's here?
So show everybody what you got. What's the deal with the bear?
Oh, it's so cute, right? So this is one of our little merch items for Pottstown Go Forth. Look at this cute little bear. Comes in, I think, like 5 different colors. Let me find my picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Almost a full rainbow.
Nice.
Of colors. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's got the little Pottstown heart logo. So it's a fundraiser for 4th of July. $10. That's it. So cute. So we will be at Redner's this weekend on Sunday from 10 to 4. And come by and see me. I'm not saving anything for anybody. I don't want to be getting any text messages. I want a green one. I want a yellow one. I want a blue one. Nope. Come and see me at Redner's.
What time's that going to be at?
10 to 4 at Redner's on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll also, of course, be on June 4th is our big kickoff event at Iron Gate from 1 to 4. So that's another place where you can buy them. I have a feeling they are going to sell fast. We'll probably have to do a second order of bears. We also have some T-shirts and some hats, and all the rest of our merch is starting to roll in. Busy time for 4th of July planning. There was an article in the paper, and never go into the Facebook comments on a Mercury post. You will lose brain cells by the second.
You also will see me in there. Like
just let it rip.
I say all kinds of crazy stuff, and I try to get my digs in. I have this thing where I want to use the least amount of words. So like mine are never long.
Okay.
Never more than just a couple words.
A low fog index, as my dad would say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So our theme this year is kind of a 70s vibe, which goes back to the early days of, or the earlier days of the modern 4th of July. I'll say the modern 4th of July celebrations, because as you know, Pottstown has had 4th of July celebrations going back to the late 1800s. Our friend Todd Bainbridge did a couple of 3-part series with regard to the 4th of July and parades and celebrations and fireworks. So Todd runs the Pottstown Area History Collective. And if you didn't see his little series, it was really interesting. 3 separate posts about the 4th of July in Pottstown.
I'm going to put a link to his page.
Yeah. So in the mid 70s, around the time of the gas crisis, which would have been like 76, 75, 74?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Is when the modern 4th of July, Pottstown's modern 4th of July celebration started as a way for people to be able to stay home because it was so hard to get gasoline.
Oh, right. Yeah,
for those youngsters that might not have been around then, you used to have to get gas on alternate days. Like if your license plate ended in an odd number, you had to go on this day. And if it ended in an even number, you had to go on that day. So people weren't traveling a lot because it was such a gas crisis. So that was when the modern 4th of July celebration started with Bill Krause and his pals. So it's kind of a nod to that. And if you see our bucket hat, you will see that it looks very much like the Bill Krause bucket hat.
I'm putting that up right on the screen.
Yes.
So people can get that merch.
Yes. So anyway, it's really an awesome hat. It's really soft. It's got a little tie-dye effect. $20. And super cute. Levi should have had that on at the graduation this past weekend because he got burnt to a crisp.
I saw that your shoulders are a little bit red.
I had a round necklace on, and I have a round
shadow
necklace. Yeah.
Did you put your SPF on?
I put it on my face, and I had a giant hat on.
Yeah.
But I just forgot. I had a V-neck dress on, and I forgot to put it on. Stupid. Very stupid. But we had a perfect, beautiful day for Harrison's graduation. My man graduated with honors.
Yeah, congratulations
from Carnegie Mellon. So there was 25 students in the physics department. That's it, 25.
So did they have their own separate graduation?
So there was the big main graduation with all of the honorary people and the keynote speaker and all of that, and bagpipes because it's
it's Scottish.
Carnegie was Scottish, so. Those bagpipes come out, the tears start flowing. I don't know why. They just make me cry.
Make you cry.
And then each department had their own individual diploma ceremony.
Okay.
So they do a big, large conferring of the diplomas to the masses, and then each department has a ceremony where the head of the department hands the diploma to the graduate.
Yeah.
And we were very fortunate that my parents could be there.
I saw that.
My in-laws could not attend. Unfortunately, Gail was under the weather. She had bronchitis. So that was a bummer. But my parents were there, so that was really special. And just super proud.
And tell everybody about that. I put the picture up of you guys standing underneath the Carnegie Mellon sign.
Yes.
So tell everybody about that medal around Harrison's neck.
That is university honors. So they don't have cum laude, magna summa. They don't do cum laudes.
Okay.
They also don't do a GPA. They have what's called a QPA.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So he had university honors, which means that he had a QPA of higher than a 3.5.
Okay.
He had a 3.6. And my man got a 4.0 his final semester.
In it.
His final semester he had a 4.0.
Nice.
Dang.
Good for him.
Kind of makes my 2.85 in fashion merchandising look like a piece of shit, huh?
Oof.
But hey, D's get degrees, man.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, it was a beautiful day, as you can see there, and it's a lovely campus, and we were tremendously proud.
Nice.
Yes. As I know that you are. You're a nerd.
My nerd graduated magna cum laude from
Fantastic.
from Temple.
Yep.
And yeah,
Couple of Pottstown kids.
doing good.
Yeah.
So don't
I
let
love
anybody
seeing-
tell you
I
that a
love-
Pottstown education can't take you someplace.
I love seeing all of the graduation posts. I love seeing prom posts. I love seeing it all. I
Yeah.
love seeing high school graduations. I love seeing college graduations. I love it.
Yeah.
Everybody should be very proud.
So there's just been a steady stream of these posts from different Pottstown kids who are graduating from different programs. And every post that I see, the Pottstown kid has done extremely
Killing it.
well in academics or
Right.
athletics and/or athletics.
Yes.
They're going on to law school. One kid who graduated with my son Patrick is opening up his own masonry business.
Wow.
He graduated from Thaddeus Stevens.
Okay, let me know
Doesn't-
that.
Yeah.
Let me know that kid's contact
Yeah.
information, because if you live in
What's
Pottstown,
Bobby's last name?
you
I
need to
can't think of his
know,
last
like,
name.
you need to know a Mason.
Yeah. Another kid just
Oh, wait,
graduated.
I know that kid. Does he live over in the East End?
Yeah.
I think Harrison played baseball with him.
Yes, for sure he did.
Yes.
They're all about the same age.
Yes.
And then another kid just graduated from Ursinus and he's going to law school.
Mhm.
Harrison just graduated from
Yep.
Carnegie Mellon. Now, he didn't graduate from Pottstown, but he went all through
4K through eighth grade.
Andrew just graduated from Temple
Mhm.
a year early. So don't let anybody tell you that Pottstown kids or a Pottstown education
Nope.
can't take you places.
I think that Pottstown education is actually exceptional, because it not only the academics or the CTE, if that's the route that the kid is going,
Mhm.
but also you're going to school with all walks of life,
Right.
every color, every religion,
Yep.
every socioeconomic across the board,
Yeah.
and that's real life.
I think it gives people a more, and we've talked about this extensively. It
Yeah.
gives people a more well-rounded experience.
And also the ability to learn how to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about one more thing.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about my other son, and I just hold on. Let me grab this picture.
Okay.
Save images. There it goes. All right, save. So I want to talk about my youngest son, who will be graduating from Pottstown schools. And let me get his picture. Here he is. I'm going to put this up on the screen.
Yeah, with a bunch of awards and honors
Yes.
and recognition.
That's Adam Green. That's my youngest son. He is going to be competing in district
Love it.
championships.
Oh,
He
nice.
yeah.
Look at all those medals.
Silver and a bronze. He
Mhm.
got silver
And
long
he's a
jump.
hurdle guy, right?
Yeah, he got the silver in long jump and the bronze in hurdles, 110 hurdles.
Mhm.
That's his specialty.
Right.
And he's
I'm
got
always amazed when I see kids jumping, or anybody jumping hurdles. It makes me so nervous.
it does. And he's my
But
kid.
they get their cadence, and they got it figured out,
It's
right?
amazing. And I know he's my kid and everything else, but even if he wasn't my kid, I'd be like, damn, that
Look at
kid's
that
good
kid,
at the hurdles.
right?
And apparently Lincoln University thought the same thing.
Yes, they certainly did.
So my man's getting a whopper of a scholarship for academics and athletics to go to Lincoln.
Excellent. Where's Lincoln? It's
It's down in Oxford,
which is
Southern Chester County.
Southern Chester.
Mhm.
Got it. Which is where your extended family is from, in that area, right?
Almost all of my family back to the 1700s is from Chester and Lancaster
Right.
County. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Except for you, because you're OG Pottstown.
Correct.
Right. Nice. Well, congratulations, Adam Green. That is fantastic. How big of a school is?
Very small.
Okay.
They have about 1,200 kids on campus, and then they also have a small campus in Philadelphia.
Okay, and it's a historically black
It is
college?
an HBCU. Mhm.
HBCU.
Historically black
Black
college,
college.
or university.
Right.
Yep.
Excellent.
I think it's the oldest HBCU in the United States. Somebody can fact check me on that.
I think I might
And
fact check you right now.
believe- And I looked it up when he got accepted. It's one of the top 50. They're in the top 50 of HCBUs in the United States. So good
Right.
school.
Oh, sorry. I'm just checking. I just
taught a class there. Einstein taught a workshop at Lincoln. Yeah, Einstein.
Wow.
Einstein.
The real Einstein,
Yes,
not the
real
bagel guy.
Albert Einstein.
The physics guy.
The real
Yeah.
Albert Einstein.
Dang.
Yeah. George Thorogood. Or excuse me, Thorogood. Yeah, George
I'm like
Thorogood.
the
Thorogood Marshall.
the one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. That guy.
Langston Hughes, Kwame Nkrumah, who was the president of Kenya. They have like some pretty.
I'm impressed that you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just checking over at Porchcast. Hello, Joe. Thanks for tuning in. And no, I'm not saving you a bear, but we can do an alleyway transaction, which is how Joe and I like to do business. It's like, hey, psst.
So Joe's in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, Joe. And we'll shift and start giving some people some shout outs. And then we'll get into one of the things that we want to talk about. Joe's having a problem getting on to Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate to see Porchcast.
Did you block him by accident?
I did not. I checked my block list. The only thing I can think of is if Joe has self set up as a business or an organization on his Facebook page, he's going to have to follow my Facebook page first. You understand what I'm saying?
But he should be tuning in just as Joe, not as FPE.
Yeah, so that's what I can't figure out. Now,
all right, so I got your facts check when you're ready.
He seems like he also might have found the show through Rufus Jefferson. And right now, I don't have the Rufus Jefferson settings. So if you're watching Porchcast through Rufus Jefferson, you won't be able to comment on the show because I don't have my Rufus Jefferson setting set up to do that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it.
So I don't know, Joe. We're gonna have to continue to work on this.
Yeah, but that's okay. He can hang out over on YouTube.
YouTube's a great platform for watching the show. You just don't get to interact as much with the other people that are on Facebook. Yeah. And I know that that's what Joe.
Yeah. All right. Denise is tuning in. Denise Williams from Be Resilient. She says she is a Lincoln alumni.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Great school. Excellent. Kelly Horvat, thank you for tuning in. So the oldest HCBU in the country is Cheney.
Okay.
And then Lincoln is number 2. Okay. So Cheney was 1837, and then Lincoln was 1854.
Okay.
And then number 3, Wilberforce, 1856.
That's in Ohio.
So I think a lot of people, when they think they know Howard because like Bill Cosby went there.
Yeah.
But that's not the oldest.
I think Howard started in the 1900s. I think that's what I want to say. I don't know that, but that would be my guess.
Yeah. So Spellman. I don't even see how. I'm on a crazy page. It's like giving me all sorts of pop-ups. But yeah, so Cheney, Lincoln, Wilberforce, Harris Stowe, Lemoyne Owen, and Shaw University. Those are the 6 oldest.
Okay.
So there you go. The more you know, as the kids say.
Joe Rousseff. See, he wants to get on and start mixing it up with Chris, and he's now calling her Chris Green. Ooh, okay.
Oh, boy. All right. Staying out of that one.
I don't think she's willing to accept.
Staying out of that one. She was throwing you some shade today.
Was she?
Yes. Well, some of those barbecue pictures, and you said to take down the picture of you without a shirt on because you looked
without a shirt
because you were looking large and in charge.
That was some pandemic pounds.
Oof. Pandemic pounds. That was rough.
I was cooking it up during the pandemic, though. A lot of those pictures were from meals I was whipping up during the pandemic.
I'm not going to lie. I miss COVID.
I do. I miss that. I only miss that part of it.
I miss that part of it. I don't miss the people dying part.
No, not being able to hang out with people.
Right. But the not being able to hang out with people was horrible. But it made things easier because you had nothing to do. It was it. It was your family. Right? Or whoever was in your little bubble.
Yes.
That was it. That was who you were, who you could see.
We had that one socially distanced picnic. Remember, you came over to our house and I set a tent up for you guys in the back.
Yeah, it was Memorial Day. I think it was Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. Like looking back on those early days of the pandemic, we didn't know anything. We didn't know if you could transmit it by by the mail or by, people were bringing their food home and wiping down their cereal boxes and all of that. It was like the Wild West. So I don't miss that part of it, but I miss the slower pace of life.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the part that I miss.
All right. We got a pretty substantial amount of people watching. So let's get into one of the things that we've been following and we've been talking about here on Porchcast. And we have some updates about what's going on with the
Beacon of Hope.
seasonal shelter.
Yes.
So the seasonal shelters are called warming centers. And as a lot of people may or may not know, the St. Paul's UCC Church was just up at the corner of Franklin and Grace, applied for a variance so that they could be the permanent host of the warming shelter in the wintertime.
Until such time as the
Permanent shelter.
permanent shelter. Yeah, I would say that they applied for the variance so that would you say St. Paul's?
It's St. Paul's UCC.
Could be the interim.
Correct.
To tide them over until the permanent shelter is built over there at the edge of Stowe at it's like Glasgow Street or Burke Street.
Yeah, it's Glasgow. It's almost right at the corner of Glasgow and West High Street.
Right, where that there's like a Sunoco station or something.
That's Knox Performance Center.
Yeah, yeah. So that has been approved, the permanent shelter, but as like anything else, it's going to take some time to get built. So Beacon of Hope and St. Paul's was hoping to get the variance to operate this long-term temporary, I'll call it long-term temporary shelter over there in the North End. And it was rejected.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, hand-wringing and consternation about that, why do we all want to do the right thing and take care of the homeless and all that? Well, yes, we all do. But there's also some rules and some parameters that need to be followed. So from what I can understand from this article, that a 1-year variance was the first of 14 conditions sent to the zoning board. So it was the zoning board that had to approve of it.
Correct.
And Borough Council has not officially made taken a stance.
No, because they're letting the process work for itself.
Right, letting the zoning board, which is the governing body that issues variances, do what they do.
If the Borough Council would have stepped in prior to this, it would have been extraordinary. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but now
because they typically don't get involved in the nitty gritty of zoning decisions.
Because there's a system set up for that, right?
Right.
It makes sense to me.
It says, although council had voted publicly against taking any position, they didn't vote against the situation. They just voted to not take a position.
Yes.
It quietly sent along 14 conditions it would like to see imposed should the zoning board have granted the variance. So if the zoning board grants the variance, these are 14 conditions that we would like to see happen. Right? So other suggested conditions included 1 supervisor per 18 guests, a curfew between 8 p.m. and 6:30, no prescription medicines be kept or distributed on site except by those licensed to do so. Property owner and or operator shall make all reasonable efforts to locate another homeless shelter that agreed to accept the occupant. This is for people that have been kicked out, and then make available to the occupant transportation to that shelter. This is when somebody's kicked out because they're under the influence or they have broken the rules.
Yeah, they can't follow the rules.
But the list of conditions turned out to be moot, as the 26-page zoning decision made clear that the zoning board did not feel that the Beacon of Hope's case met the 5-item burden that the law requires for a variance. So in order for the zoning board to issue the variance, there were 5 conditions that needed
to be met. Right.
Those conditions included that the physical conditions of the property make following the zoning impossible or cost prohibitive. So you're seeking a variance because the current physical conditions of the property.
Yeah. So like if you had an historic building, for instance, and fixing that thing up in order to meet some ADA compliancy would be
cost prohibitive or
too hard to do, or would maybe damage the historical character of the
Right. Then they could overrule that. Right. that a variance would not alter the character of the neighborhood and that the hardship is specific to the property. So those are the conditions that were not met. And there were many neighbors of the North End area that the church is in that came out to speak at the zoning hearing board hearing, the zoning board hearing. That said, it said about half the 30 people who attended the March hearing said that the warming center had indeed already altered the character of the neighborhood. So that was one of the conditions that was not met. The decision also noted that the hardship cited by St. Paul's and Beacon of Hope was the undeniable rise in homelessness in the borough and the county, but that condition is experienced by the community as a whole and is not specific to the particular property.
And here's where I have something to say about that. Like, right now in Pennsylvania, there's over $6 billion. I think the figure is $6.1 billion that the state has control of in their coffers, which can be spent on this American Recovery and Protection Act. It's called ARPA, right? So the borough of Pottstown as a geopolitical entity needs to start doing some things to pursue that money, to get those funds to come into Pottstown. Because if you look at the ARPA funds and the way they're set up, it's specifically for pandemic relief. And it's specifically to address health and safety, and economic impact. Well, homelessness is all of those things.
Right.
So, but like we say all the time on Porchcast, if we're not asking for that money, it's not like the county or the state or the federal government is just going to come around. There is no grant fairy that's just going to leave a grant in your Christmas stocking above the mantle.
Yeah, you got to search it out.
We have to go out and look for this stuff.
Right.
And I can tell you right now, based on the conversations that I've had with people who are very in leadership positions within this borough, we're not doing it.
Right.
We're not doing it. And one of the reasons we're not doing it is because all of these parties, the various parties that are a part of this, are all sitting around pointing the finger at the other party.
Yeah, it's not our responsibility. It's your responsibility. Right.
Oh, no.
Right.
If you're going to do this, it's all of our responsibility. If you're going to bring this into the community and say that you're serving the community, it's the entire community. Right. You can't just pick and choose.
Right.
That's my issue. So how about instead of digging trenches and going into this, what we're in now, this trench warfare, where every time somebody goes into no man's land, they get machine gunned by the other side.
Right.
How about we wrap our stupid heads, because we're being stupid.
Right.
How about we wrap our stupid heads around the fact that we need to work together to figure this out?
Yeah, this is an issue that affects everybody.
Right.
It affects everybody. It affects the businesses. It affects the homeowners. It affects certainly the people that are experiencing homelessness.
Absolutely.
Right. So, okay, if it's, let's make it everybody's responsibility, or 2 or 3 groups or whatever, work together.
We have to.
Yeah.
And maybe part of the problem is, that these groups are so now entrenched, because that's what it is, entrenched in fighting each other. We're missing out.
Right.
There are things that the borough can do that they have the actual physical power of the law to do certain things. Right. That's important.
Right.
These nonprofit organizations, these NGOs, they compete for grant funding. They know how to apply for grants. They know what grants are out there.
Right.
Maybe if y'all got together in the same
and the borough
room.
has a grant writer.
They absolutely do.
Right.
And so do the NGOs.
Right.
This doesn't seem like rocket science to me.
Right.
But we've made it so contentious now.
Right.
And here's the other part of it too, and this needs to stop too, is every time something doesn't go right for the people who support the shelter, they trot in a line of pastors and priests and religious clergy to shame the people at the borough.
Right.
Okay, I get it. The Bible, every single holy book, from every single major religion tells us to take care of the poor.
Right.
That is the
Across the
golden
board.
rule
Yes.
exists in every major religion.
Right.
Okay, we get that.
Yep.
Your God, your power source is telling you to do this. Fine. We can all agree on that. But how are we going to do it then? You can't just show up at a meeting and say, you didn't do what I like, so shame on
Right.
you.
Well, and also, last time I checked, that our local government doesn't have to act on a religious tenet.
No. Nor should we. The First Amendment kind of
says that we shouldn't,
things.
Right? So yeah, is it the right thing to do? Yes. Is it moral and ethical? Yes. But it can't be the driving factor behind why we should be helping the people that are experiencing homelessness.
Yeah,
it's not. Our government at the highest level separates those things.
Right.
So it could be a nice side byproduct that you're fulfilling your religious obligations to take care of the poor, but that's not what should be driving it, because we can't let religion drive our decisions.
And listen, I'll be the first one to say that I'm wrong about this. I'll be the first one to say that I'm wrong about this. What I don't hear after the shaming is these religious groups and these religious organizations say, shame on you for not doing it. But here's an idea.
Here's an idea. Here's some goals, right? Or some solutions. When
I attended a meeting, the only idea that I heard from the religious folks was, well, if we can't figure it out, then it's the borough's problem. Well, no.
No.
You are, if you're here in this town doing this stuff, claiming to be part of the community, then guess what? You are the borough too.
Right.
You are the borough.
Right.
The last time I checked, our Constitution says we the people.
Right.
That's all of us.
Right. We, not you. Not you, the people. Right. Right. Yeah.
Yes, we're asking for collaboration.
Yes.
How long we know from history that you cannot maintain extended trench warfare. And that's what we're in. Right. Both sides have now dug in.
Right.
And they snipe each other. They cannonade each other. Yeah. And they machine gun each other. Yeah. And it's all of us. Right. We're all to blame for this.
And if helping those that are less fortunate than us is not a good enough motivator for all parties involved, then let it be the economic impact or the trash impact or the real estate property. Like, let it be any of those things, because all of those things impact all of us, whether we're homeowners or renters or whatever.
Yeah.
So let that be the motivation.
I agree with Kenny that I think the churches can play a huge role in providing some of these social services. But by the same token, the churches have to be willing then to come out of their side and work collaboratively with the government or the organizations that aren't religiously based.
Right.
We have to work. We have to work together. I mean, even an atheist will tell you that the right thing to do is to take care of other people.
Of course.
So I don't think this is and maybe Kenny would disagree with me because he's a very spiritual person. I don't think that this is necessarily a spiritual pursuit.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Like there's a lot of reasons other than the goodness of your heart.
Correct.
To do it. And for a lot of people, the power of the dollar sign is a powerful motivator, right? So, we'll then talk about property values, and let's talk about business development, and let's talk about all of those things, because it impacts all of those things.
Right.
So
listen, I've made it pretty clear that I'm up to my eyeballs in these conversations. I've had conversations with people from the borough, even right here on Porchcast. We spoke with the people from Beacon of Hope. Yep. To his credit, Mark Borse has kept in touch with me after that conversation, and I regularly share information and ideas with Mark Borse. I'm a part of the Pottstown Cluster of Religious Communities. Kenny Butler and his church, Victory Christian Life Center, were gracious enough to invite me over to speak at one of their meetings. I'm all in this. and like I said, every time I go to one of these different meetings with another one of different type of these organizations, the only thing that keeps striking me more powerful than anything else is if you all would just put it aside for a second, put your egos, put everything aside for a second, put your hurt feelings aside for a second, get into a room and let's figure it out.
Right. Let's have a conversation.
Whether you're for it, against it, or otherwise, it's an issue that's here in our community, and we have to figure out how to do it.
Yes. And Kenny, you're right. It is everybody's responsibility.
Yeah.
It is absolutely everybody's responsibility. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to get at.
So I mean,
that's that update.
It's disappointing to me that the variance didn't, that it didn't go through.
Right.
But maybe that's not the right avenue. Maybe that's not the right avenue to address this problem for now.
Right.
We have to come up with something else.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's a different location. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, at least one more winter before the permanent shelter is built. And listen, there were some pretty impressive numbers that they talked about in this article about the number of people that they helped. Tom Nero says
2 more winters is what
he said we help protect 24 to 35 people each night. They filled a bed 4,232 times, 4,239 times. They assisted 38 guests with finding stable housing. So 38 people, that's all great. 94 guests were assisted with federal benefits, either SNAP, SSD, SSI, etc. So they're connecting people with benefits to help them help bring them out of homelessness. So those are all great things that they're doing. But in order to do that, there are rules that need to be followed.
We have to.
That's it.
And I think the other thing too, and we've talked about this, and even the people who are the homeless advocates acknowledge this. There is always going to be people that don't want to go with the program. We could have the best program on the face of this planet. There's going to be people within the community or come to this community that cannot deal with the program.
Right.
There's always going to be somebody that slips through the cracks.
Yep.
And I think what we're missing, and again, I'm ready to be proved wrong. I want to be proved wrong. I think one of the basic things that we're missing in this community is an underlying standard that we've set for ourselves. Currently, we don't have that underlying standard. Once we get that set and figure out what the standard, what the priorities are going to be, then we can move forward with the rest of this stuff.
Well, and I do want to, remind people that this is not a Pottstown centric problem.
No, it's not.
Go look at what's happening in San Francisco. Look at what's happening in New York City. It is everywhere. We're experiencing it on a Pottstown size level.
Well, here in our own state, I mean, based on some of the research that I was doing in order to prepare for my meeting with the borough, which I was assisted with by Kyle Weaver, who's a resident of Pottstown, lives over on King Street. When Kyle and I were researching for our meeting with the borough on this topic, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh have both. What they've done, which I think is something that we could do here in Pottstown, is they declared an emergency on homelessness. What that allows them to do is use the power of the government to address the problems, to put some stopgap measures in place,
and access certain funding that's only available for a state of emergency.
Correct.
Right.
It does two things. It allows you to regulate what's happening, which currently in Pottstown is not. I mean, it's a free for all.
Right.
So it allows you to regulate what's happening through the force of law, through the force of governmental police power, which sometimes you need.
Right.
And then 2, it helps you tap into that larger emergency funding.
Right.
I think we should really explore that as a borough.
Right.
And when you look
the other thing that a lot of places are doing is they are setting up designated areas.
Correct. Safe camping areas. So I don't know if that's the answer, but it does at least help to keep it
contained and controllable. Right. And so then you don't have, a trash situation in 47 different places.
Right. The other thing it does is that it allows you to take care of those people that do really, truly want help and want to get plugged into the system and help themselves take care of themselves. It helps you do that.
Which Beacon of Hope absolutely is doing.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
But the other side that it does too is it then sets up a system to take care of those people that don't want to plug themselves into the system. Hey, we have a system here. This is how we can help you. If you want the help, here's what you can do.
Right.
If you're not doing those things, you need to go somewhere else or suffer the consequences because some of the things you are doing are illegal.
Right.
And the community does not want that activity in our neighborhoods.
Right.
Period.
Yep.
That should not be a hard concept for Americans to wrap their heads around.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, yes, Susie, we absolutely do understand that campsites do not have the resources that a brick and mortar facility does. Understand that?
Yeah.
And that there's always going to be people that are going to just prefer to be in a campsite as opposed to a brick and mortar.
I think the campsite is a good temporary measure until we can get something. The other part of it too is, let's not forget about this, is that the current brick and mortar site proposal is 35 beds. I guarantee those 35 beds are going to fill up. They're going to be filled every night.
Sure.
So what do we do once the 35 beds fill up?
Yeah.
We're still going to need some temporary place to store.
I know what you mean. Yeah, to house
the people who can't get into the brick and mortar.
Right, and like Tom and Mark said when they were on the show 6 months ago, that they are going down to the campsites and they are trying to talk to people, trying to get them to come to the shelter, trying to plug them into services. So they have this outreach. But if that outreach can be in a kind of a controlled or specific area, then that would help them to be able to reach people.
And I think that based on what I've seen these other communities do with this emergency declaration, it sets up a framework to start putting these measures into place. If anybody wants to see the proposed emergency declaration that I wrote for Pottstown, please message me. I'd love to send you a copy. I'd really like to have some feedback on it. And I'd really like it to become part of the conversation about how we're going to address these things. Even if we don't declare the emergency, there are processes within the emergency declaration that we could do, even without declaring an emergency.
That we could take advantage of, tap into. Yep. I don't know what I did with my news. What did I do with my news?
Yeah, we do have a bunch of other news and updates and everything else. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for putting your comments into the chat. It's a contentious topic. I realize that.
Well, it's something that everybody is passionate about, regardless of where they fall.
We have to start. We need a Treaty of Versailles, or we need something to get out of this trench warfare. And listen, I'm guilty of it too, because I'll be the first one to admit, and I've admitted to it on several locations, and I've apologized it to several people. But I went up to that meeting at St. Paul's UCC, and I was not happy with the way I got treated, and I got angry, and I lost my temper, and I probably said some things that I shouldn't have said. But this is an important issue to me. I feel strongly about it. And I'll be the first one. I'm not going to throw stones and live in a glass house. I need to bring the temperature down too. We all need to bring the temperature down on this so that we can have some rational thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Other news and updates.
Yeah. So Denise Williams is making an excellent idea. Is there any homes that nonprofits could join together and purchase that could provide rooms for families? I think that there is a way to do that. I think yes is the answer to that. The problem that I'm seeing is right now we don't have enough collaboration with the nonprofits in conversations that I've had in the past. Now, it's been a few years. About 5, 6, maybe I'm starting to lose track. At least 5 years ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I was invited to a conference on homelessness and affordable housing for people who aren't necessarily homeless but need affordable housing. At that time, I made a recommendation that the nonprofits start doing exactly what Denise's. And the response that I got from them was they didn't think that they were financially able to. Now, this was at a time in Pottstown where properties could be had for $30,000, $40,000, and $50,000.
Right.
And at that point, the nonprofit world didn't feel that they had the financial ability to do this.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry to say, property values have nearly tripled since then.
Right. Well,
so if
and
we
then,
couldn't do it then,
and then there are zoning.
There's some
for
zoning issues.
whether you're running a quote boarding house, like there are some requirements that would have to be worked within in that kind of a scenario.
Sure.
Right. But the way to do that is to, before you get that ball even 5 yards down the field, is to go to the borough and say, this is what we would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
What obstacles do we need to overcome? What do we need to work around, or how do we how do we make this so that it's going to work, instead of you're down at 50 yards down the field and you're getting rejected and then you're getting pissed off at the borough. Well, if you had started way at the first yard, you're like, hey, this is what we want to do, can you help us do it?
And again, not for nothing, and I know that I'm riding this horse hard. If you were to incorporate some of those processes into this emergency declaration, again, it could potentially set up a situation where you could then apply for relief, apply for funding in order to make these purchases, do this development, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I think, Denise, that there's a way that we could do this. If anybody wants to talk to me about it, I'm all for trying to explore ideas and present ideas, not just to the borough, but to the NGO world as well. So I think everybody knows how to find me. It's not that hard. If you want,
all you have to do is listen to your voice.
Yeah, right.
Follow the sounds. Follow the sounds. All right.
Thanks for tuning in, Susan.
Yeah. News and updates. Our friend, Mr. Murphy.
Yes. Let's start with him.
Yeah. So this is Armed Forces Week.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the Navy Day is on 5/17, which is the anniversary of the Stark.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is Military Appreciation Days presented by Mission Barbecue. Matt, where is Mission Barbecue? Do you know?
The closest one that I'm aware of is in King of Prussia.
Okay.
They are a national brand, at least on the East Coast. I've never seen them. I don't know about being out west, but I've been to Mission Barbecues as far down south as South Carolina.
Okay.
And listen, their food's banging.
Okay.
They
well,
do
then you're a barbecue guy. So that's
for a chain.
Mm-hmm.
They make some pretty damn good barbecue. Good. Yeah.
So today is 5/18. It's Air Force and Space Force Day. Obviously, almost over. Space Force, I know.
Freaking moron.
Coast Guard Day is tomorrow, 5/19. So they are offering a free sandwich for all active duty service members in these particular branches on these particular days. On Saturday from 11 to 2, Lunch with Heroes, free sandwich for all active military and veterans. For all active duty and veterans, this is a free sandwich from 11 to 2 on Saturday, 5/20. So,
and remember, folks, this is another thing that Matt Green gets passionate about, but it's serious. Memorial Day is to remember our fallen service members.
Yep. Okay. King of Prussia, Why Missing. King of Prussia and Why Missing are going to be the closest. Yeah. So just Google it. Go on the Google. Find the address.
I've been to both of those outlets, and the food and service is phenomenal. Like I said, Mission does a good job.
Yep. If you are active duty military or a veteran, you can get your free sandwich on Saturday from 11 to 2. And that is after you go to Veterans Island and clean up on Saturday, the 20th at 0800 hours.
That's correct.
That's 8 a.m. For you civilians. And then Highland, so Vets Island cleanup at the same time at Highland Memorial Cemetery, there will be flag placement. So those two things are happening on Saturday. Flag placement on St. Al's, which is on Buchert on Sunday the 21st at 0800 And they're also going to have a flag retirement ceremony at 100 hours at St. Al's. You can drop off flags to be retired at the St. Al's Cemetery Gathering Center, which is at the rear of the cemetery. So that's St. Al's Cemetery on Buchert. Drop off your frayed flags, and then 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, the flag retirement ceremony.
Yes.
Yep. So thank you to Michael Murphy for that.
And if you want to even get more detailed information, go to YouTube and Google or search Porchcast Pottstown on YouTube, and then watch our last episode.
Yeah.
Mike and
I wanted to...
Colonel Sewell gave very, very detailed information about all the ways that you could get involved with what's going on with veterans.
I did see a fun-looking event that the General Spatz Museum was having this weekend.
Oh, that place is phenomenal.
It was in my emails, and I got to see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it. Oh, yeah, here it is. So this is on Saturday the 20th from 10 to 4. I don't think the event lasts that long. I think it is like a event that you could do throughout the day. Attention truth seekers and time travelers, Boyertown of yesteryear, request your assistance in solving the case of the mysterious woman. It sounds really super fun.
No, this is...
Explorers who solve the mystery will have a chance at a cash prize. Meet at the Explorers Tent, which is at the parking lot of Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles.
Yep.
Walk through downtown Boyertown, picking up clues along the way. Take part in a real-life detective story. Begin by picking up your guidebook and lantern at the Explorer's Tent. Collect clues found in actual artifacts from yesteryear at Boyertown's historical sites to shed light on the past and solve the mystery. Can you crack the case and secure the reward? Sleuthing fun for all ages. That sounds really fun.
I just put it up on the screen because we just...
Oh, so that's part of Building a Better Boyertown Heritage Day.
Correct.
Got it.
And that's this weekend too, and it seems like a really neat event.
It does.
They really took a lot of time to research this event. It's all based on true, actual... it's a mystery that you are going to solve by going around and visiting these different places in Boyertown. And it's all based on true events and true people and true places that happened in Boyertown.
That sounds really fun.
Really super neat idea.
Yep, it is.
And the prize is $300.
Dang.
Top prize is $300.
You could have a very nice meal at Grind.
You could go to Other Farm for drinks. You could go for a meal for Grind, and then head over to the State Theater and catch a movie. And guess what, Amy? You don't even have to move your car.
Right.
Park once.
Right. Yeah. I think it, and their graphic, whoever put the graphic together, it looks really good. It looks really super fun. I think sounds like a great event. I would love to see something like that in Pottstown.
I think that we could learn a lot from Build a Better Boyertown here in Pottstown, and then also Rachel Keeler, who is the president of the Boyertown Historical Society, is really bringing some good energy into the Historical Society. She has a lot of really neat ideas of things that to do to get people more interacted with not just the history in the community, but with the Historical Society itself. And then she also owns the Peppermint Stick Candy Store.
Okay, we talked about that. Yeah, you talked about that last week. Yeah.
So I think we could learn a lot from our friends to the north. I know that's hard for Pottstonians, Porchtonians to swallow. Right. But there are some things we can learn from our
Sometimes you just
north.
have to go just a little far afield. Just 5 miles.
Yeah, right.
Just 5 miles. That's it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. All right. Pottstown Children's Discovery Center needs a hand. We have exciting news. Montgomery County Community College building that will be the amazing future home of the brick and mortar Pottstown Children's Discovery Center is getting ready to start renovations. Well, that is very exciting. There's just one thing. Lots of exhibits and supplies are being stored inside, and we need to move it all out. So this Saturday from 9 to 12, They are going to be moving their stored exhibits and supplies to a different space in the same building. They need some helping hands. So if you are maybe not an outdoorsy person because your allergies are going nuts and you can't help with cleanups or flag placing, you can work inside from 9 to 12. And the Children's Discovery Center is located at what we would call the old AAA building, right?
Yes.
95 South Hanover Street. So if you are able to sign up, go to their website. There's a sign up genius there where you can volunteer your time. They're looking for about 20 people. So that should be easy enough. So check that out and give them some help. That's very exciting that they're groundbreaking. All right, June 5th, Pottstown Community Action Meeting. Director of Parks and Recreation will discuss the Chestnut Street Park, which I think is undergoing some renovations, are going to be going under some renovations. So join us for important updates and exciting plans. Don't miss it. This is at the Victory Christian Life Center, 28 North Washington. That's at the corner of North Washington and King Street. June 5th at 6 p.m. Our friends at Pottstown Community Action looking for some folks to get involved. Listen to that.
Here's another reason, and I'm learning this with one of my clients. One of my clients is purchasing a home within Hobart's Run. The house is in good shape, but it does need a little bit of work. It needs some work to be updated and repaired up to modern standards. And again, she's getting $5,000 from Hobart's Run to help make the purchase.
Yeah,
she's eligible for a $500 grant to help fix up the facade of the property.
Facade grant, yeah.
And she's also eligible for a grant that's coming out from the county called the Single Systems Grant, which helps you replace like a roof or plumbing,
or like a hot water heater or something.
Yeah, any single system.
Right.
So if you get plugged in to Pottstown Community Action, they're aware of those
they
grants.
Can hook you up with all those things. Yeah.
So join their Facebook page, monitor their web page, which I just put a link up to, or go to one of their meetings.
Right.
I seriously have this one client who really is on the verge of getting close to $10,000 in various grants to help her with her house.
Nice.
So the help is out there.
Yeah.
You just have to go look for it.
You just have to know.
Pottstown Community Action is a very, very good place. Tamara Charles does a great job.
They're super nice. Yeah.
With staying plugged into what's available for people here in Pottstown.
Great.
So don't sleep on it. I mean, it's literally valuable.
Yeah.
It's thousands of dollars you could be eligible for. Yeah. That's what's in it for you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, why would I want to get involved with Pottstown Community Action?
Well, because
you could get thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Right. Maybe you wouldn't otherwise be able to, afford, but those things are available.
They're there.
Great. This is the Hobart's Run yard sale. So this is Saturday, June 3rd from 8 to 12 in the Upper East parking lot of the Hill School, which is the Center for the Arts. We enter on Beach Street.
Beach Street entrance,
You must reserve a space. It's $10 for the space. Bring your own table. And you can go to the Hobart's Run website or Facebook page and find the link to register. So do a little spring cleaning, sell some stuff, and that's a fundraiser for Hobart's Run, and that helps to fund some of the programs that they run. Friends of the Public Library meeting. This is tomorrow, the 19th, from 11 to 2. So the Friends of the Library are a auxiliary group.
It's like the fundraising branch.
They run I think they run the book sales and all of that stuff. So check that out if you're available from 11 to 2.
And listen, I'm going to put a link up to the Pottstown Regional Library's webpage. And you know this because you and I have tried, Amy and I have tried to share everything that's available at the library. Right. We can't do it. Yeah. There's so much stuff.
Yeah. And with summer coming up and kids being home from school, you're definitely going to want to plug into the library and take advantage of all the programs that they have and things that are available, or just go and take a book out and read.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a magical place. It really is.
Remember over the wintertime, they had 2 separate calendars?
I know. It was I can't even read all this stuff. It's great. The Comedy Dome is opening this weekend. So this is the outdoor Comedy Dome at Soul Joel's. So Jamie Kennedy, who I think is a comedian that I've heard of,
he is
opening this Got the opening show tomorrow night from 6 to 7:30.
Remember Jamie Kennedy it was
like
called the Jamie Kennedy Experiment.
Yeah. It was like
And
on Comedy Central or MTV or something. Yeah.
He was one of these first, he was doing the pranks and the stuff. He was kind of like the predecessor to, who were the three dudes on the comedy? Anyway,
like Ridiculousness or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Somebody should know what I'm talking about. But Jamie Kennedy was kind of one of these first, on the street kind of spontaneous things. Right. So he's an international act.
They get a lot of national acts there. So that's this weekend. And then, of course, over the summer, they'll have all sorts of great shows at the Comedy Dome. This weekend on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. So you've worked all day. You've done all these things. You've laid flags. You've cleaned up. You've moved stuff. You've done all this stuff. You can go enjoy the Outdoor Film Festival. This is our friends at the Schuylkill River Greenways National Heritage Area. Are presenting this at Pottstown Riverfront Park. It's $15. It is the Paddling Film Festival. I went last year. It was super fun. Sly Fox will be there with their beer garden. This is sponsored by Video Ray, and it is at 7:30. The shows start at 8:30, and you can go bring your lawn chair, get some beverages, hang out, watch some really fun movies. There was, I think, 5 or 6 different short movies that were shown last year. And it was enjoyable. I'm not like a super huge paddler person. I have gone kayaking maybe 5 times, and I really enjoyed it. And plus, that it's such a nice that Ron Downey Outdoor Amphitheater down at Riverfront Park is really, really a nice
super
space.
Nice. Yeah,
really nice space.
And that's Take It Outdoors is doing that.
That is the Schuylkill River Greenways. Okay. Our friend Elaine Schaefer. So check that out.
And you can go back on YouTube and see the show that we did with Schuylkill River Greenways.
I enjoyed that show a lot. I enjoy all of our shows, but that was really interesting to learn about what a national heritage area is, how there are only, I think she said 60 of them, and we have one right in our backyard. Yep. That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, think about that. I mean, think about the geographic size of the United States, plus incorporate Alaska and our territories. Right. All of that space, there's 60 of these things.
And we have one right there.
Yeah, right here in Pottstown.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is very cool. Beekeeping 101, Saturday at the Althouse Arboretum. If you want to learn about beekeeping, that is Saturday from 9 to 11. With Aaron Durr of Hinterhoff Farm. So check that out if you're interested in bees and beekeeping. Althouse Arboretum is a super cool place up there in the Pottsgrove. Tuesday, June 6th, Samana Yoga at Pottstown Library from 6 to 7. I will definitely check that out. $10 drop-in fee. Super important, guys. If you are able to give blood, there's a blood drive at Montgomery County Community College May 26th from 10 to 3. I believe that is next Friday. Is that right?
I didn't hear you because I'm trying to get a link.
Yeah. It is American Red Cross Blood Drive, May 26th. Let's see. The 26th is Friday from 10 to 3 at the South Hall, the newly renovated South Hall. And if you can find a link, if not, just let us know and we'll hook you up. But if you can give blood, please do. I am unable to. I've been the recipient many times, and I appreciate anybody that can give blood.
Once you've been a recipient, I think it's more than once, right?
What?
If you've ever
received blood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I've received blood a bunch of times.
Yeah, and there's a limit.
And I also am chronically anemic, so
I'm
not giving blood.
Your blood's no good.
My blood's no good. My blood is weak, people. It's very weak. All right. Finally, free summer program at the Ricketts Center. This is for ages 6 through 13, June 19th through August 11th. That is the bulk of the summer, from weekdays from 10 to 1. And this is a free program, but you do need to sign up. Breakfast and lunch provided for registered participants. That's pretty significant.
Come on.
Yeah.
Free.
But it is capped at 25. So
you might
get on
it. And listen, the Parks and Rec department does a bunch of stuff over the summertime.
Oh, yeah. They got their play streets
ready.
And all of that.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out to the folks from Parks and Rec. Um, I had a little bit of difficulty at first connecting with them in order to get the cleanup set up down at Memorial Park. But now that I'm kind of a known quantity and I've shown that we can actually do what we say we're going to do, they donated 3-4 cases of these trash bags that they had gotten from the county. So I've been sprinkling them around town and giving them to different organizations
that are doing cleanups.
So I got a really it was nice in the fact that Mike Lenhart was thinking about me in relationship to some of the things that are going on, and he sent me an email which had a lot of good information that I can use in these discussions that I'm having. So I just want to give a shout out to Parks and Rec.
I love those guys.
I get a little frustrated sometimes, but I'm glad that we're communicating.
Yes. Yep. All right, that's what I got.
I'm going to try to get a link to Pottstown Parks and Recreation, and then I'll start breaking it down. There it is. And there's links to all kinds of stuff. There's first thing that comes up, they're having a basketball camp for boys and girls, June 12th through the July 29th. Now it is $50, but that would keep a kid pretty busy.
Keep them busy and tire them out.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Right. Let's see. The one thing that I do want to put up on the screen there is the questions, comments, and critique can be reported to or sent to pottstownreports@gmail.com. We work with some of the folks from Eye on Pottstown to keep an eye on the different hot topics that are occurring within the community, and then we try to cover those hot topics on Porchcast Pottstown, much like we talked about the homeless situation once again today. If there's something that you would like us to talk about, or you'd like us to come on, or like to come on the show and join us, please contact us at pottstownreports@gmail.com. You can contact me, Matt Green, at Glocker.com. You could just Google Matt Green Realtor, and pages of information.
4,700 pages are going to come up.
You could search Wolf Baldwin and Associates and find out how to reach Amy. We're not that hard to get a hold of.
We can't hide.
No, nor do we want to. We want to be a part of what's going on. If we've said something that offends you, please let us know.
Tough nuts.
I'm sorry. I may or may not.
Not tough nuts.
Depends on what it depends on what you found offensive. Yeah. If I truly offended you,
it might find its way into our spam folder. Just saying.
Right. If it's just because you don't believe in the same things I do politically, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah. Sorry, you're in the wrong place.
Anyway, pottstownreports@gmail.com. That's one of the ways that you can get in touch with us. Don't forget, Go Forth. Amy talked about a lot at the top of the show.
Look at this cute little bear. $10.
If you
so cute.
Costs are up, right? Like you have to collect another couple $10,000 more.
We're getting there. The community's been really generous, as they always are. I think we have a pretty good track record of proving that we do the right thing and that we produce a high quality event that is, for the most part, free for everybody to attend. Like, we increased our number of face painters. Like, people can come and get their face painted, no charge.
Wow.
We have 3 face painters this year and some glitter tattoos.
Nice.
So, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And games and bands and all of that. And of course,
or just come out and walk around.
Check out your town. It's Americana at its best. I love it.
All supported by you, the community, and our Porchtonians know how to step up to the plate.
Yes.
Please do.
Yeah. So come see me. If you come see me at Redner's, I'll be there from 1 to 4. Our organization will be there on Sunday from 10 to 4. I personally will be there from 1 to 4. If you are watching the show and I don't know you in person, if you come and see me, please introduce yourself, because I would like to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to meet people that we don't know but listen to the show.
It is.
My name is Matt Green. I am a local real estate expert. Please give me a call if you need help selling or buying residential or commercial real estate. I've been heavily focused on the sell side of things, and I'm not going to lie, just because it's easier right now.
Well, because if you're representing a buyer, there's such low inventory, right? Slim
there
pickings
is.
out there.
I do have some tricks for buyers. So if you really need to buy something, please give me a call. There are some things I can do to help you make your offer look and be more appealing to sellers.
Right.
But I gotta say, if there's something that you have that needs to get sold, there's never been a better time.
Yeah.
Just trust me.
Yeah. Can I hop back in? Because Denise is reminding us about Juneteenth. And Denise, I'm sorry, I meant to add that to my stack of news and updates. So Juneteenth is taking place on June 17th, because Juneteenth is actually on a Monday, and it's I think better to have that event on a weekend. So on June 17th, the Juneteenth event that Denise and Troy Rivera are organizing is going to be at Smith Plaza from, I'm going to say 10 to 5, I believe. And before that same day, they're having a scholarship brunch at Welcome to the Avenue. And let me tell you something. If you have never been to Welcome to the Avenue, that food is ridiculous. It's so good. Super nice people, and the food is ridiculously good. So that's happening right before or in conjunction with the Juneteenth event. So hope to see lots of folks out there. Pottstown Go Forth will be there selling our stuff. And raising some awareness for 4th of July, but come out for this very important celebration.
Right on.
Recognition of Juneteenth.
Amy Wolf, you are the office manager over at Wolf Baldwin Associates, celebrating 50 years of legal services to Pottstown and the surrounding areas.
Sure are.
If you need help with a legal matter, or if you have a workman's compensation claim, you want to get some free advice or a free consultation, hit up your man, Levi Wolf. He's a specialist.
It's the
He's
best.
certified by the courts. What more could you ask for?
Free
consultation.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We are Porchcast. Let's talk soon.
Bye-bye.